Welcome back to my lovely HP community and 5D collective. As I have been sharing throughout the week, we're going to have a pause. So between tomorrow or after tomorrow, we're going to pause for about 7 days, if you will. We might have some shorts, we might not. Just for my regular viewers and for my listeners as well, we might have an episode later. There is a channeled guidance. I've been looking to get it wrapped up, but it has been one of those lovely days as the energy is about. And so, with that being said, let's begin. Self-empowered people, that's where healthy other voice right here, 5D Mystic, bringing together all of it. And yesterday night we talked in the late HP show about the distorted feminine, which I'm going to let you all in on a fun fact to a empowered feminine. They're all masculines. As long as a masculine has a distorted feminine, they have insecure attachment. Okay, so the divine feminine is the body and heart is how I'm going to equate it. The divine masculine is your mind and integrated. Left is the masculine, right is the feminine. And when we have a left that has a ego, which you always do, and then you got a right that doesn't want the emotions, here's where insecure attachment people, the ones who don't have their child parts, the 0 to 8, and then the 8 to 16, all uncharged. Yes, so as long as they project their unhealthy negative stupidity and unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms with low self-esteem, you're going to know because they're going to be a Cusco. And they're going to use wine and fucking and drinking and all that stuff and gender stereotypes and no therapy. Okay, so this how I long for my thoughts to no longer make any sense to me. Then I can be rid of them like noisy house guests who have overstayed their welcome. So when you have an inner critic and family in the head and any person who has envy, jealousy, spite, revenge, unresolved trauma, and a 3-year-old that they don't go and get healed in a Patrick J. Hand's office, okay, they're going to be a distorted feminine, which is why a feminine is not impressed by distorted feminines, or the masculines who don't get their own feminine. Okay, so we all have access to a healthy feminine. She is Christ consciousness and divine mother because she is the all-encompassing hand of that which is the jaguar and the self. So you own your sense of self, observe, witness, narrate, and you are the core narrative, relational, and solo self of you in the absence of any tragedy, abandonment, injustice, shame story. You do not need to heal trauma charges. You have the capacity to be within the mental and emotional plane with ease. We do inner growth mindset here, dealing with the unknowns, uncertainties, and unexpecteds with an open heart while going with the flow. So this is a voice of self-empowered, enlightened, 5D mystic, and more person, okay, bringing science and spirituality and all of it together. And I am a channeler, so right now I'm also integrating some channeled guidance because the ones who are the 5D collective, they have no self-doubt or sabotage or confusion, and they are a groovy kind of love. So when we spot the distorted feminines, we know we got some really shitty shit shows going on, but we're not going to do it. It's none of our business. We are our own lover and beloved because we have moved beyond that threshold of fear, because we're not a lion or a deer. So I don't have an inner critic or an outer critic. I don't have family in the head. I don't have shame. I don't have blame. I don't have any of that shit. I have a groovy kind of love. Groovy kind of love. When I'm blue, all I want to do is take a look at you. So if you bring to me something like rumination and your projection, your narrative of whatever it is, I'm going to, I'm so sorry for you because I do have the capacity to be a feminine, okay? But that is where, for those who don't, they think that they are enlightening as they go through suffering, so we leave it alone. The luminous warriors of the 5D frequency, the rattle and the noise that we make is one that talks about the sorcerer, our unconscious, subconscious, with the sun, the inner child adult. So the masculine of you is your mind, when you're thinking in a way that allows, again, that drum to bring forth the right choice, which is I and you are two, and we allow transformation to happen with love. And that's because also the jaguar, the essence of the jaguar, that's courage and certainty. It's a person who is integrating their brain and they want to be open-hearted with you. Okay, so I love to love my baby. He loves to dance. He loves to dance. Okay, so with that, if you're new, you're like, okay, what is she doing? I'm integrating it all. No, I'm thinking about my next words. I want to chit chat about these two amazing men that I saw, and then we're gonna do some channel guidance if I have time later. But the drum of the lower world is why some people, they are going to stay in the 3D 4D frequency because they're not the heart of the sky. They have the distorted Layla story, if you will, of the inner critic, outer critic, and they're in a shame cycle. So we are not. The 5D frequency knows that we're on this lovely planet all together. And again, it's healthy self-worth people, men and women, mystics and not, who do mindfulness and spirituality. And so we are able to consistently be in our rainbow of colors, those 7 basic chakras, and then you got one is here, and then our 8th and 9th has been awakened. So your completion is that you're doing Dharma, and the upper world is you being able to be a person who knows how to have self-compassion and compassion for others. So you can use your wind, the mind, wisely, and those many paths to enlightenment. You understand that if you come from pain, loss, bliss, or delight, it is not a curse. It is basically one of the many paths that lead you. So enlightenment will be brought forth because you've chosen to be your own authority. You've chosen to be a staff of yourself and an earth keeper, which means all of humanity, not just some. So when you strike with lightning, it's because of you wanting to bring the rain in a way that flows, though, with the times of now, not in the way of yesterday. And so we know that earth goes through transformation, and there isn't a sacrifice. There's the opportunity to give to each other that which was missing from our ancestors, which is the sciences that explains that within you and within me, there's a 1-year-old that wants to be loved. And that's why the beloved, you see the beloved in everyone. And time is what allows you to see this, because it is the time to remember. No, because in this time, science and spirituality come together. So that serpent that uncoils and sheds its skin, it does not represent evil, unless you're a person who wants to insult yoga and Reiki because you decided, no, because some other people who should be leaders have decided that they don't want to be their own witness and hear their own crow's voice and know that the medicine that they're providing is not medicine. Basically, that spirituality and sciences comes together and proves to me, a person of faith, we're all brothers and sisters the same way I got to hear about it from Jesus and God when I was in catechism, which is why. Feminine, I love to love my baby, he loves to dance. You're going to be with healthy people. If this resonates, you're going to be back because you're your own lover and beloved. And so when you're not only polysecure or monosecure, but you're polywise or monowise, this means that you know that you create a life of meaning and connection, one beyond you, but also with another. And so you want to be a groovy kind of love for each other, because that's how we do know life is full of suffering out there, but we don't vibe in it because we know how to self-regulate. And that means we know how to use our higher chakras, which is the very thing the 4D and 3D don't do. So for people who don't know me, they will think that I pretend or that I have no emotions. I know I don't pretend, and that I do have emotions, because you cannot physically live without emotions. And I'm attachment trauma informed. So when I meet healthy adults, I know who they are. And these two men, I have the honor to share a little bit of what I got to watch. They're good role models. I look forward to seeing more of them than that other man who is not. He holds, when there's a placeholder, he holds a spot like the fancy woman in a suit for the ones who don't want to do the choo-choo trains work and get over the hump. So anybody who wants to stay with trauma charges and to be able and allow themselves to justify, like Denzel Washington's quote says, people don't defend what's right anymore, quote unquote. I mean, it's not about anymore. I'm a feminine, I'm a mystic, I have a lot of lifetimes. I don't bring them into the mix all the time, but This is one of my favorite lifetimes. And as I shared yesterday, it's not a fact, because I don't try to look into my future too much. I do know my future life, and I know how amazing it's going to be. And I even know what's going to happen. And I smiled when I'm going to leave that for later, but I smile because I know Maria, I know this life. And I know what things make me happy and sad. And so, for example, I was very happy to find out who is my future husband. I was sad to note who's not going to be with me in the future. But then I was like, it's okay because I won't remember anyways. So these two amazing men, though, and then we'll be back with a channeled guidance, which will be on the audio. I won't be posting it on YouTube, so I'll keep you posted maybe with a short once it's live so that you can have the announcement. But they talk about how men can, in essence, find a new way to exist in today, and that's what they're supporting in this entire 2-hour discourse. But that it doesn't involve necessarily feeling more emotions, because our brains are made differently, which I had already understood from a neuroscientific article that I was reading, and also from being a woman who knows real men. So men who are straightforward and honest and all that. The pretend ones are basically, to me, not men. Like real women are not the ones who are distorted. So anything that is with insecurity, I should say it that way. Any person who doesn't go heal trauma, to me, they're not a real man or a real woman. It's kind of like Pinocchio. I understand that they've been determined, like Robert Sapolsky says, but I'm not here to say good job or not good job. I'm not a codependent person. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to be presenting my healthy boundaries, and that's all. And I'm going to do it with love, acceptance, and respect, because I was taught how to be humble and polite, and I was taught how to behave, and I love to behave this way, because why would I treat you unkindly? I don't want to be treated unkindly. I want to be treated with respect. So when people don't do it, I know simply how to stand in my ground and leave it alone, because insecure people, low self-esteem, manners. I mean, I'm not going to bring it to you. So you'll know it when you see it. And that's why nobody has you really reacting, no matter what words come out of their mouth, because you're getting reactive by the minute if you're beginning to use certain words with me and agitation in a certain way. And I'm going to know it. And as a feminine, I'm going to wait until you're calm so that I can continue our conversation, because safe haven, secure base is how we engage. Okay, so long story short, the men that were talking, they got to bring to the forefront how their instinctive mannerisms, they might not be deeply emotional in the same way, but they want to share emotion with the woman. And they will want to cater to helping to protect them. It's in that inclination to open a door and to be around them if you're walking in the street. So they had this really amazing conversation. Again, we'll be back with more of that one. But as I was listening, I'm like, yes, all of it. And in the energy that you're in, though, because see, you're talking about it in the absence of gender stereotypes intellectually. I have a master's degree in international relations and diplomacy. I don't always mention that, but I did a bunch of courses in my bachelor's too with sociology, psychology. So I have a background that's the humanities and social sciences, plus I do personal development. So the content creation is about life with you can be you, I can be me, and there you go. The mindset, straightforward as it gets, and people who want to do it, they do it, and who doesn't, doesn't. But the ones who will be back, it's because they enjoy the content, but also you're going to find value from the membership content. If you want mentorship, you know that's available. I already know that people who resonate with healthy adult will look into it, and they're smart. And so they will be able to gauge what's being given them, and why they do it is because they're motivated to want it. I don't motivate you to be the better version of yourself, quote unquote. You motivate yourself. The Zen master didn't motivate himself. Ego is with your own amygdala. So if you're not alerted to being able to tap into more of your potential, I'm not a distorted feminine. I don't capture you. You're not mine. You're yours. I actually know of this thing called free will. God taught it to me. That's why I'm the embodiment of a feminine. I will nurture you, and I will know how to tell you, this is okay, this is not. But see, I got held with equanimity. And then I got taught about free will. And the free will was made very straightforward by Jesus. Forgive, they don't know. Turn the other cheek. Blessed are those who believe without seeing. Humble, Maria. Don't play God. I won't capture you. If I captured you, that would make me a person who's wielding someone, I just took away your free will, and distortion, duck, duck, duck. That's why the distorted feminines and the masculines hang out together. It's only once a masculine becomes his whole feminine inner child adult that he won't be with a stromboli. He's going to go and want to be with a person and to hang out with healthy people, because you'll know healthy people, because they will always respect, accept, and love you and tell you, these are my parameters. What are your parameters? And it won't be a lie. And so these men were very clear in a way. It was an honor. Again, we'll talk more about it, but women who are women will choose a man, not the bear, unless it's a serial killer, obviously, or someone you really don't want to be around. And there are some men that I would say I'd choose the bear, just because they've made it clear that they're not the real men. They're the men that are distorted like that other man that gets on screen, and woman. So again, we'll be back with more. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great one.